So let's talk about how we can turn your garden into this bustling, energetic little world for one of the most common, but honestly one of the most fascinating backyard birds out there, the house sparrow.
Okay, I've got to make a confession right up front. I actually really like house sparrows. I know, they can be a little bit bossy, and they're not native to North America. But there's just something about these scrappy little birds. They bring so much life and personality to a garden.
I mean, they're the absolute definition of small, scrappy, and social. Just think about it. They're tough, they are incredibly adaptable, and they somehow manage to thrive in places where a lot of other birds just can't make it.
You know, it reminds me of my grandfather. He used to just toss breadcrumbs out onto his patio, and it was like magic. Seriously, within minutes, this whole flock would just appear out of nowhere. They're so clever, they're persistent, and, this is the key, once they figure out your garden is a reliable spot for a meal, you've got some seriously loyal visitors for life.
All right, so you want to jump right in and get started? Perfect. This next part is your quick start guide. It's a super simple plan to get sparrows checking out your garden, like right away.
Okay, here's the game plan. It's just 5 simple steps. First, you've got to offer the right food. We're talking seeds they absolutely love. Second, use open feeders. This lets them all eat together as a flock, which makes them feel way more secure. Third, make sure you've got some cover nearby, like shrubs, so they have a quick escape route. Fourth, add some potential nesting spots, to really encourage them to stick around. And finally, and this is probably the most important one, stay consistent. Reliability is what's going to turn those casual flybys into your new permanent residence.
Okay, so you've got the quick plan. Now, let's build on that. We're going to dig into the why behind all those tips so you can create a habitat that's not just good, but absolutely ideal for these birds in the long run. You know, what's so wild is that house sparrows have basically evolved right alongside humans and our farms for thousands of years. They learned a long time ago that where we are, there's a steady supply of food. It's this deep connection that explains why they don't migrate. Our world is their ideal habitat. And that's what makes them such perfect year-round garden residents.
So understanding how they act is really everything. First, they're super social. They want to feed in big groups, right out in the open. But at the same time, they're always on high alert. They need to know that there's a quick escape route, which means having cover, like a bush or a tree, within about 10 to 15 feet. They also huddle together in groups to stay warm and are always on the lookout for little cavities and holes to build their nests.
So what should you actually feed them? It's surprisingly simple. Millet. That's the absolute superstar. Seriously, they go crazy for it. Sunflower hearts and cracked corn are also huge hits. And check out the feeder type on the chart here. They really prefer to eat on flat, horizontal surfaces. So ground feeders or low platforms are just perfect for their social flock feeding style.
Now, if you want to go that extra mile and actually offer them a home, you got to remember this number, 1¼ inches. That is the perfect size for the entrance hole on a birdhouse. It's just big enough for a pair of house sparrows to get in, but it keeps larger, more aggressive birds out. It's their own little VIP entrance.
And here's how you put all those pieces together to make them feel really safe. Try mounting birdhouses in protected spots, like right under the eaves of your roof. Plant some dense shrubs to give them shelter and a place to duck and hide. And then, when you put out a bird bath, place it close to that cover so they can make a quick dash for safety if they get spooked. It's like creating a total safety package for them.
And speaking of water, please do not underestimate how important this is. A clean, reliable source of water is a massive draw for all birds. But in the winter, a heated bird bath isn't just a nice little luxury. It can literally be a lifesaver when every other puddle and pond is frozen solid.
Okay, let's address the elephant in the garden, shall we? Sparrows, well, they're very successful breeders, and a couple of visitors can pretty quickly turn into a bustling, chattering flock. So what do you do then?
Right. This is the question I hear all the time. You've followed all the steps, you've created this little sparrow paradise, and now your garden is the hottest spot on the block. So is that a problem?
Well, here's how I'd encourage you to think about it. Instead of seeing a big crowd of sparrows as some kind of noisy pest, try to reframe it. See it as an energetic, lively feature of your garden. All that constant chatter and activity, that's the sound of a healthy, vibrant ecosystem that you helped create. It's a feature, not a bug. So, let's bring this all home. How do you make sure these scrappy little survivors become your permanent, year-round garden guests?
It really just comes down to laying out the perfect welcome mat. And it's got the 4 key things we've talked about. Reliable food that's always there for them, clean water for drinking and bathing, protective cover that makes them feel safe, and secure nesting sites where they can raise a family. If you can nail these 4 things, you are all set. And there you have it. The house sparrow's resilience is truly something else. And watching their complicated little social lives unfold right in your own backyard is just endlessly rewarding. So go on, put out some millet, fill up a bird bath, and get ready. Your garden's liveliest residents are just waiting for an invitation. The only question left is, are you ready for the show?